Hey, we are live. Let me type out my topic. Hello, everyone. Just give me a minute. Ooh, my leader is number one. You did no time. It's good to see you here after a long time on Ife Talks. My husband is number two. Whoop, whoop. Hey, everyone, Tammy Daniel, number three. Yay! Hi, everyone. Hi. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see everybody. Hi, fam. Hi, husband. Hi, Tammy Daniel. Hey, G-Day. How you guys doing? So, in our normal culture, we're going to wait a minute for some people to join. Maya Queen is here. Yay! Hey, Maya. Hi, everyone. So, our first 5 minutes is to welcome everybody and say hi to everybody. It's good to see you guys. Thank you so much for keeping to time. It's good to have you all around. It's good to see you. So can you hear me? Let's just be sure that you can hear me. Moya is here. Yay! Hey, Moya. Please, if you can hear me, let me know. Pastor Abigail is here. Thank you so much, my. So good to see you here. My God. Hey, alright. I'm so excited already. I feel like today is going to be a good day. My fam, people are here. Can you hear me, please? Oh, let me not just be laughing and dancing alone. Just let me know if you can. Oh, yes, you can. Welcome, alright. How are you? You're so early today. I'm proud of you, sister. Thank you all so much for coming, Pastor Abigail. I'm so excited to have you on my stream. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you. So, Jude was number one today. So, thumbs up for Jude. I celebrate you, man of God. I celebrate you. Awesome. So, today I'm so excited about today's topic, right? LeFoot. Hi, LeFoot. I think this is don't let me go and bet, but I think I know who LeFoot is. This is Kunle, if I'm not mistaken, but let me know if I'm wrong. Hi, LeFoot, though. Hi. It's good to see you. Hey, husband. Lost truck. Amen. Thank you, ma'am. All right, guys. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I don't want us to waste so much time. It's 4:05, and we're just going to hit the ground running. Start now. So we're going to start with an opening prayer. Ushang, hey, welcome. So, Father, we thank you for today. Thank you for another session of Ife Talks. We're so excited. Thank you for how far you have brought us. We commit today's program into your hands. Have your way, God, and take control. That will be all of you and nothing of us. You'll speak through us. We'll all hear, be blessed. We will learn, and lives will be blessed, transformed in Jesus' name. There will be healing available today. Thank you, Lord, for hearing us in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. All right, thank you guys so much. So today, for our past series, we've been talking about marriage, and then I feel like everybody has told me to be a marriage counselor, which is okay though, Even though I'm married for just 2 seconds, like I always say, just 2 seconds. And hello, my wedding anniversary was like last week. Yeah. So it was officially 2 seconds that I've been married, right? But anywho, today we're moving from marriage. And please, I'm married to a very, very amazing man. I need to say this. The only Joby Photography CEO, Batude Ogojobi. I celebrate that man. I love him so much. In fact, he's the one that helps do this planning, set up everything. If not for him, if not for the God in him. So I'm very blessed and privileged. So please let me celebrate my husband. So now, like I was saying, we'll be doing so much marriage. So there's something very important that we're going to be doing for the next 3 or 4 series to come. We're going to be talking about abuse. Abuse is something that some few people unfortunately have had to experience in their lives. And abuse, if not well managed, can leave like a long-lasting stigma, long-lasting problem, in the lives of people. You unfortunately, some people don't ever get over it or get through or get past that phase of their lives. They carry it all through their lives, right? And in the remaining few days that we're going to be few series that we're going to have for the rest of this year, and by the way, it's already September, so very people think that the year is very far away. We have just like 3 more months and 2020 is done and dusted. I'm going to be having people that will come here to talk to us from their story, how it happened, how they overcame that phase, how they got healed and all that stuff. So that's what we're going to be doing in the next few series that we're going to be having. So today we are starting with overcoming the effects of abuse in these times. You know, like I said, I'm going to quickly define what abuse is, right? Very quickly. Abuse is the improper usage or treatment of a thing, often to unfairly or improperly gain benefit. Abuse can come in many forms such as physical, verbal, maltreatment, injury, assault, violation, rape, unjust practices, and a lot of things, right? So, you see, there are different types of abuse. People go through physical abuse, they go through verbal abuse, they go through sexual abuse, right? You know, just because somebody is selfish and wants to take advantage of the other person. Now, my guest today, oh my God, such an amazing woman. Outside here, you need to know Moyo. Moyo is so sweet, so beautiful, so amazing. Like, you know, and then coming on my show today, I feel so honored and privileged, right? So I'm going to quickly read Moyo's profile because I want us to just move pa. I don't want to waste time. Moyo's here, her husband is here. You know, I can see Juliana, I can see Eunice, I can see all of you. Thank you so much for joining. I can see Queen. Hi everyone. So I'm going to read Moyo's profile while I wait for Moyo to send me an invite so that we can just hit the ground running. So Moyo Folami Otun is a graduate of business administration from the University of Ghana. She's a certified broadcaster and a brand consultant. She used to work with the popular radio station 92.3, but has now moved to being a brand consultant with a highly renowned company. She's a woman of many sides, so listen to this part. She's a convener of Sisters Room, a ministry that gives hope to ladies who have lost their way. This was inspired by the Holy Spirit, where she can channel her story to revive lives. She's also the anchor of At My Lagos Experience, which is a comedy real life series that runs on Instagram currently. You need to follow that. I'm going to say it again, At My Lagos Experience. If you want to laugh, if you want to have fun, you know, just want to chill off from the stress of Lagos. She talks about different experiences that people go through in Lagos, from downfall scenarios to struggles and all that stuff. So yeah, you need to follow that. She's happily married to an amazing husband that I know I can attest to, and a mother to a fantastic daughter, a very beautiful girl. So Moyo is my guest today. Moyo, so you can send me an invite. I haven't seen your invites yet, so that we can start. So what Moyo is going to be doing today, of course, you know, I'm the questionnaire. I always have plenty of questions to ask. I'm going to be asking Moyo questions, and then of course, if you have questions, please always, throw in your questions, put your questions, and then, you know, I will have phone and all that, so we can all learn. But you know, you see, you never even know that you have gone through anything. So it's so amazing to see. Yay, Moyo is here! Hey, Moyo!
Ife.
How are you?
Oh, thank you.
It's so good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's so good. I can hear you. I think I can hear you. You're looking amazing as usual.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so Moyo, I just read your beautiful profile to everyone, and then we're going to start immediately. All right, so I don't know, maybe I should allow you to introduce yourself again. Just tell us in 1 minute about yourself, and then I can just start with my question. So yeah, welcome again, everybody. Just in case I didn't get to mention your name, welcome. I celebrate you all for being here. So Moyo, over to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Moyo Folami Otun, and I'm a graduate of business administration from the University of Ghana. Also, I'm a certified broadcaster. I used to work at 92.3, but now I'm a brand consultant at a very amazing company. I'm the convener of Sisters Room, like she mentioned. It's a group that's for ladies who have given up on life through one thing or the other that they've been through, and by the help of the Holy Spirit, we've been doing a lot. And also, I'm the anchor of My Lagos Experience. My Lagos Experience. You should follow that page on Instagram, by the way. I mean, I try my best to make you laugh, to ease you off Lagos stress. And I'm happily married to an amazing man, I must say. God bless my husband. I'm happily married to an amazing man. I have a very beautiful daughter. She's so beautiful. So basically, that's in just 1 minute. That's who I am.
All right. Thank you so much, Moyo. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for being here again. So we are starting now. All right, Moyo. So today we're talking about overcoming the effects of abuse in these times. I can see your husband already giving us love stroke. So I'll start from the very beginning. All right. So I want you to tell us about your abuse story. Just focus on the abuse story, how it happened, maybe the different scenarios that it happened, then we can progress from there. So over to you, Maya.
Okay, so I was abused at a very young age. I think I was 13. Yes, I was abused at the age of 13 by an extended family member. He used to live with us at the time, and my parents trusted him so much, so they would leave me. So I was the only child for a very long time. So when my brother came, he was still young, so they would actually take him out and just leave me and my uncle at home. So I called him uncle, basically. So they would leave me and my uncle at home, and it would just be me and him. And so one day he forcefully, so before then I would be in the kitchen probably doing dishes, and then he would come spank my ass and stuff. But I was so scared of my mom, so I just couldn't tell her anything. And by the way, my mom is an amazing person, but if she knew better, she would have done better. But at the time, I didn't have a relationship with her, and then she would believe outsiders over her children, because obviously the outsider is a matured person, so she does not she would not expect the outsider to be telling lies and stuff. So I couldn't tell my mom because I was so scared of her and everything. So I would keep it to myself. It all started from always doing all those useless stuff in the kitchen when I'm washing plates or when nobody's there. And then unfortunately one day we were at home together. My parents had gone out and it was just me at home. I was sleeping, and then he came into the room and then he took advantage of me. And it was I didn't understand immediately what was happening to me, because I felt like, why would somebody just feel like it's okay to take advantage of a little girl? I mean, at that time he was quite matured. This was somebody, I think he was in his late 40s at the time, and then I was just 13. Like, I think I was in SS1. Yes, I was in SS1. And so that day it happened. I was hurt. I didn't understand my emotions. Let me not even say I was hurt. I didn't understand my emotions at the time, because I didn't know. I just was not sure what had just happened to me. And I couldn't tell anyone, obviously, because I was scared of my mom. And so I kept it to myself, and my parents, everybody would be going out. I'll struggle to want to go out with them, but they won't let me. But they didn't understand the angle I was coming from. They just felt like I always wanted to go out. So it was the thing of stay at home, read your books, blah, blah, blah. And it was just very terrible. So my parents would go out, I'll be home. And then it went from sleeping with me to making me sit in the parlor, putting on porn, and he would masturbate in front of me. He would make sure I watch it. Do you understand? And then if I don't watch it, I end up receiving these beatings of my life because I have to watch it. Do you understand? So it went on and on and on until maybe one day he offended my father and they had to send him away from the house. And so that was how all of that happened. Yes, so basically in a nutshell happened.
Wow. So thank you. Wow, thank you for this, Moyo. I mean, this is a lot. So from what I'm hearing, there was parents not being sensitive to notice that the daughter was going through stuff. You trying to always follow your parents out, but they did not understand, or they just were not sensitive enough. So I'm going to get there so that I don't break it, right? So this was how it happened. So after this abuse happened, I mean, after this rape and stuff, so what happened next? What happened next? What was the next phase for you? How did you evolve from there? Let's put it that way.
So
did you have any other experience first? Did you have any other experience?
Yes, I did, but I think I was able not to let that happen. But it was a struggle. Yeah. But at that time I was already in university, so it was not like I was still young anymore.
Oh, right. So how did this affect you, Moyo? What were the effects that this had on you as a woman? Let's just...
Wow, it was a lot, because, okay, so moving on, I became a very I would like to use the word bitter because I became a very bitter person. And then in school, I had little friends. I would always frown my face. I did not want to talk to anybody. Most people felt it was pride, but it was just me building a wall because I didn't want anybody to come into my inner space. I didn't want anybody to know what had happened to me. I started to see men in a different light because I'm like, if a man can do this, then I feel like every man has a bit of that in them. So I would, if you approach me, oh hi, I like you. I was very aggressive, and it just demoralized me. And then yes, my self-esteem dropped too. As in, not because I didn't have a self-esteem because finishing secondary school and going into the university, I went into the university with that mindset of, you know what, men would always do this to you. Men will always find a way to harm you. Men will always find a way to hurt you. So it really affected me a lot, and I got into watching pornography a lot. Like, it was crazy. It was back to back. It was so hard for me to leave it. I got into watching pornography. I started to masturbate, and it was a very hard time for me because I felt like it was a way of life. Like, I mean, I saw somebody do it at a young age. So if he, at his age, he could do it, then I felt like it was okay for me to do it. Do you understand? So, yeah, basically.
Okay, wow. So it affected your character, your esteem, and then it also now pushed you into an addiction in terms of pornography and masturbation. So that's like you are now battling with abuse and battling with the addiction. That's like two big things you were battling with. I can only just imagine what that did on your inside, like another. Okay, so now how did this affect your, in terms of relationship with men? I mean, were you able to enter into a relationship? I'm trying to build this before we go to how you broke free and overcame it. So did this affect your relationship with the opposite sex? Were you able to date anybody? Were you able to enter the relationship? Were you always scared? Did you have fears, and all that stuff? So let's know.
So at first I had fears getting into a relationship, but afterwards I started to look for something that was missing because I knew that a part of me was missing. I knew that there was something that was empty inside of me. So I started to jump from one relationship to another. I mean, when I got into my first relationship, oh, that guy was everything. Like, he gave me heaven and earth and all of that. But at the end of the day, he still messed up, like, big time. So every time I meet a guy and they mess up, I come back to that point of men are the same. But then the painful part is that it didn't stop me from getting into another relationship. So after going through this, I would still be like, you know what, if this guy's like that, why not try this guy? Maybe this guy will just love you the way you are. Maybe this guy will not take advantage of you. Maybe this guy will not abuse you. I really wanted somebody to tell me that, okay, you know what, you are enough, you should not be abused. So I was looking for it in the wrongest places. I mean, I would go date all sorts of guys, from Muslims to Christians to club boys. I just wanted to be with somebody who would show me what I was looking for. But unfortunately, it always.
So we can say that you were looking for validation or love. You were looking for, you just wanted someone to validate you. Oh, yeah, you're beautiful, you're enough. So you were looking for it outside, and this made you go into different relationships. Wow. So that means that abuse breaks something in women, in females. If you're not able to overcome it, you now start to feel less of yourself, like you're not enough, and all that stuff. Wow, that's a big damage. Okay.
People go into relationships is that they block men from coming, while some people, they just jump. So like, it works differently.
Jump for different men. Yeah, wow. Thank you for this. Okay, so now that we have heard about the abuse, we have heard about the addiction. So how did the healing journey start? How did you break free? Because it's two things you're going to tell us now. How you broke free from the issues or the effect that the abuse had on you, and from the addiction. So how did your healing journey start?
Okay, so my healing journey started I think in 2013. Yes, I think 2013. time.
Okay.
And that was in a particular church service where my pastor at the time preached about rejection. And so he linked
Okay.
the topic rejection to parents treating their children in certain ways. The children feel rejected, and children going through a lot and unable to communicate with their parents, and then blaming yourself for all the things that you have been through, which is not your fault, and everything. It started from that particular service. I mean, after that sermon, I was very much broken, and I understood that I did not need validation from a man to be fine. I needed to find God. I needed to seek God. Don't get me wrong. All along, I was a Christian, but I was just not
Wow.
patient enough to allow God do what He was supposed to do. So I just wanted magic to happen. Like, I just wanted to sleep and wake up one day and just find out that, my God, everything is awesome. I'm great. But unfortunately, that was not how it happened. So after that service, I got to speak to, there's a lady I spoke to on Instagram. She's a very popular person, but I would not like to mention her name. So I sent her a message, and then I told her everything that I had been through, and she recommended books for me. So I started to read books. I think the first book I read was Battlefield of the Mind. After reading that book, I went on to read God's Not Mad at You, because I blamed myself for a lot of things. But then I got to realize that I was just 13. There was little I could have done, actually, to avoid what was going to happen. So that way, I had follow up. She was always on my matter, always constantly praying with me and speaking words into my life. He always made sure that I read books. And then I had a book that I wrote every single thing I felt bad about, every single hurt I had been through. I had a book where I wrote it down. And then while I started a 40-day journey, I don't think I mentioned that to you, but I started a 40-day journey, and every day she would tell me at the end of every day to write how I felt, how my emotions were at the moment. So I'll write it down in the book. And if that day I felt extremely excited and I didn't think about it, I'll write it. If my emotions went all the way down, I'll write it in the book. And so every day we kept on praying. So regardless of how I felt, even if I was happy that day, we would pray about it. If I was sad that day, we would pray about it. So I did for 40 days. And after 40 days, she said to me, what would you like to do to the book? She said, I told her I wanted to keep it, and she said, no, you're not going to keep it, you're going to burn it. And burning it means that everything that has happened in this book now is to the ground in the past. So there's a new you, and this new you has come to stay. So after I did all of that, trust me, I became free. I felt like a burden was lifted. I was so sure that the burden was lifted, because another side of me began to evolve. So from then on, we started to work on my self-esteem. So that was how I was able to overcome the thought of the abuse. For the addiction part, trust me.
I was going to ask that. Was it just spam? You just woke up and addiction gone? No masturbation?
No.
I was not going to ask that. So how did
I feel like
another journey?
The hardest, because it took a lot. It was not just about praying and talking to God about it. It's about being. I had to instill self-discipline. I had to. So whenever the thought of, I feel this certain way, and then I want to watch pornography, I try to find distractions. So sometimes when I feel that way, I start to speak in tongues. So when I start to speak in tongues, it helps me. And when I'm speaking in tongues, I don't sit down. I get up, I'm pacing back and forth in my room, and also that I get that thought out of my head. And I will do that. And trust me, there were times where I failed, because obviously it's a routine that I was used to. But over time, I was able to break free gradually from staying away for 2 weeks. It became a month, it became 3 months, it became 1 year. And then there was I didn't do it for a year, and then all of a sudden I found myself in that space again. I'm like, no, I don't want to mess up. And then, so what I was able to tell myself all the time when I've abstained for a long time and then it's coming back, I'm just able to tell myself, you know what, you are not perfect. God is working on you. He's making a constant effort working. Yeah. So you don't have to beat yourself up that you're back to this. So all you need to do is to pick up yourself. Oh yeah, you're back to the same routine. You're starting over again. So you keep doing this over and over and over and again till you're able to get out. It was just a routine and constant self-discipline. I had to tell myself, no, you're not doing this anymore. You have to. So everything I find something to counter it. Either I read the Bible, I speak in tongues. I just find a distraction that just makes me. Right. That's how I was able to come, and obviously with the help of mentors, I was just.
Yeah, I'm going to even get there. I'm going to get there. So, but before I get there, right? Because people always put themselves under a lot of pressure, especially people that are struggling with addiction. Mm-hmm. Because once maybe I give a life to Christ, or maybe I confess, and then by tomorrow I think I should be done. So people don't understand that addiction is not something you can just goes and we're done. It's like a process. So sometimes you might fall again, and then you might. So like in a rough estimate, like how many years do you think it took you to break free from porn and masturbation?
I'd like to be honest because this is Ife Talks.
Joker.
I can't say how many years, but I could say that last year was when I was able to say, okay,
finally break through.
2019.
Yeah. Wow, amazing. Because the reason why I'm asking is because a lot of people right now are battling with an addiction, and they beat themselves down every time that maybe there's a relapse or something. They start to. Some people it can be suicidal because you're trying so hard to stop this thing, right? You're trying so hard to break from it, and then just maybe you've done 6 months and you feel like, whoosh, I think I'm done, and then it just comes again. It looks like the journey of 6 months just literally just crumbled in your face. So it can be really, 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 really stressful. So that's why I want people to know that addiction is not something that you can just, just break it from. It's hard work. It's a lot of discipline, God's work, and I like the fact that you said that sometimes you start to speak in tongues and pray. Sometimes people know that the minute I start to speak in tongues and my addiction goes. Speaking in tongues is not the cure for addiction. I like the fact that you said that it can just help to suppress the feelings that come through. Amazing. So somebody asked a question. So maybe I should ask that question before I go on here. The person said that at what point did you tell your parents, or were you able to open up to your parents, or did you ever open up to your parents? You start from there.
Up until now, my parents are not aware.
Okay, great. So is there a reason why you didn't tell them? Like, I think they'll be looking
because my mom basically might not know how to handle it because she's an extremely emotional person. And I don't want her seeing herself like she has failed as a parent. Do you understand? So I'm trying to actually protect my mom's emotion in all of this. When I was posting the flyers everywhere, I had to block her everywhere because she knows that I do stuff on Instagram, and then she actively checks it, she watches and stuff. So I had to block her because I needed to protect her emotions and her mental health, because my mom cannot. My dad might. He might feel bad because he feels like, he was always there, but at the same time, he was not there. Do you understand? So he might feel bad, but my mom should not be able to understand it. So that's the major reason why I did not open up to my parents. Like, you had mom.
All right, no problem. Okay, great. So I'm still going to go back to the parental part, but I want to ask this question in terms of external help, in terms of support systems, because, some people are so scared to talk to other people about it. Like, nobody must know that I work porn. Nobody must know that I masturbate. Nobody must know that I was raped. As in, you just want to not tell them because there's a perspective that, if I tell people now, they'll be looking at me somehow and blah, 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 and all that. So did you ever have that feeling? Like, how hard was it for you to open up to people, right? How did you break free from that barricade of I don't want to tell people and all that stuff? How were you able to do
It's a
that?
hard one because I realized that in the part of the world where we are, people see like there's a stigma placed on people who have been through abuse and stuff like that, and I felt like a lot of people were going to look down on me because I had been through certain things. That's why the first person I ever spoke to as regards my abuse and all that I was going through was somebody who had never met me before. So I felt like if I speak to somebody who has never met me before, it was just going to be hard for you to judge me. I mean, you've never met me, don't judge me. I'm just sharing a part of my life to you because I'm hoping I can trust you. Do you understand? So it was easier for me to share with a total stranger because I feel like this person does not know me. But whilst I was going through my journey, I realized that in life, God actually makes you go through some certain things for a reason. So not just because he's a wicked God, but because he like I would always say, he has written the script. We're just acting it out. So it's part of your script written. So if that part of your life is act 1 scene 1, and as an actress or an actor, everybody has to see what you're going through. Everybody has to. So the only way you can help somebody else is by sharing your story. So I had to tell myself that. So if I'm going to, and it helped me heal too, being able to come out and speak about what I had been through or tell anybody that, I had been through this. It helped me heal. So it was a conscious effort, really. I had to, and then I carefully had to pray to God to have the right people around me, because it's one thing that and it's another thing that your story does not become a laughing, like it does not become topic of gist and all that. So I actually asked God for people, the right people to speak to. I didn't know who to speak to, basically. I just told God, I need somebody to talk to. I need somebody who would not judge me. I need people who would not judge me. I just want people who would listen to my story and be willing to help me. So, and then, not like God told me, oh yeah, speak to this person, but it was just, I think I was just lucky that whoever comes to my mind that I speak to, they were just blessings to my life.
Awesome, amazing. And that's why I want to ask that.
Did I answer the question? Because I think I did.
Yeah, you did. So my next question is, so support system, do you think that looking back now, do you think you could have done it alone? Do you think anybody can go through this phase alone? Or how important is support system?
Very important, because there were times where I would not lie, I was suicidal. I felt like my life was not worth living anymore. I mean, why would I be on this earth and have to go through abuse? Then now I'm stuck in porn, I'm stuck in masturbation. I mean, I used to feel like, who will marry me and stuff. So I became suicidal, but I thank God for the right set of people. I mean, at some point I had the wrong set of people. I was grateful to God enough not to open up to them. But when I got the right set of people in my circle, I was comfortable enough to tell them, so this is what I'm going through. So the thing is, as much as I had a lot of support system, I think I choose a part of my story that I want to tell you, because I had to be sure that I'm good enough to handle whatever information that I'm giving out to you. So if I talk to you and I feel like, okay, I don't think you're matured enough to handle some certain things, I don't say anything. I just keep quiet. But if I see that, oh, this person is matured enough to handle certain informations and I can rely on you, I can gain your help and stuff, I'll do that. I had a friend who was my accountability partner. So I would, whenever I feel like, oh, I've gotten into this mess again, I would send her a message, babe, this happened and stuff like that. And she'd be like, okay, no, over to yours. And she literally held my hand all through the process, and then I'm actually very grateful. So it's very important to have support system, the right support system. I feel like you have to show the person's level of maturity, sharing whatever you want to share, because you can't just share out to anybody. I mean,
yeah. Wow, thank you for this. I like this support system part, because I'm so keen on relationships, and I know that nobody can do life alone, especially when you're having struggles. You just need people, the right people, like you said, around you, because you just need people that will strengthen you and help you. You know, I mean, everybody has gone through one down phase in their lives, and then you just need the right people around you that will hold your hands through this phase. Wow, this is so So amazing. Thank you for that. All right. And then I'm going to pick from what you said. You know, at some point, especially for females, you're like, will I ever get, I don't know. I mean, you're like, will I ever get married and all that stuff? Who will marry me? Blah, blah, blah. How did, I mean, when it was time for you to, oh, by the way, Moya is married, like you already know. So how did that part work out, you know? Because sometimes you're like, am I going to tell my husband this thing? I don't think I want to, let me just shove this part away. I don't want any man to know this part of me. And, or you're just building a wall. Even your husband cannot get through to you. But I mean, from your story, it's obvious that everything is all gone. How were you able to settle it in your mind that, okay, now I can actually get married to this man? How were you able to open up to your husband? How were you able to, I mean, how did that phase go? Because some people are not married, or some people are even married and they don't even have to confide in their man, or they can't even, that wall is still there. Or some people said, you know, I don't think I can marry, let me just chill. So how was that marriage phase for you based on what you have been through?
Okay, so the funny thing is, from jumping from one relationship to another, I don't share that part of my life of what I've been through. But then I have conversations on abuse and stuff, and I see your mindset. I see how you react to the conversation. I listen to your response to maybe, oh, this babe said she was raped by her uncle. I listen to how you react to it. I listen to the type of things you say about it. Then I know that, okay, can I get telling this person my story? Can I know? I mean, I was in a 4-year relationship, and I never told the guy that this was what happened to me. But when I met my husband, we had certain conversations as regards abuse and everything. And then I saw how he reacted to it. I mean, it was from a random story, and I saw how he sounded pained for the girl and everything. I'm like, okay, I think this person would be quite understanding. I mean, it was very hard telling him, because I was like, what if this guy leaves? But I knew he was not going to leave, because before he asked me to be his girlfriend, I already knew he was my husband. So I knew that.
Prophetess, spiritually, we greet you, man. We celebrate you.
I already knew he was my husband, so I just was not sure how he was going to handle it. Coming, like getting the story from somebody he actually loves and cares about. Do you understand? So, but eventually, I told him there was something I wanted to tell him. I don't know how he's going to take it, but I hope he actually takes it very well. And he's like, what is that? There's nothing I've not heard in this life. I should just go ahead and say it. And then the day I said it, he was very pained. I mean, like, he had tears in his eyes, like he was going to cry. And he's like, all of this happened to you and everything. And I'm like, yes. And I thought he was going to change, but man, he didn't change. As in, it felt like the love even became stronger. So I feel like before even sharing your story with somebody you plan to marry or somebody you plan to get into a relationship with, I feel like you should have certain conversations around whatever have happened and their reaction towards it, and asking questions like, can you marry somebody? Okay, what if this thing happens to your sister? Would you advise her to? So questions like that will help you see how they will react and how their mindset and things like that, and then you know, oh, will I be comfortable enough to share what I've been through with this person? Yeah, basically.
Right. Wow, amazing. I mean, so this you did this before marriage, right?
Marriage.
Wow. I mean, your husband, I mean, wherever he is, please tell him that we greet him, we celebrate him. He's a great man. We honor him. Amazing. Thank you for this. Okay, so because I just feel like someone need to hear that so that they will not limit themselves and think that that's where life ends. You can get married, you have children, you have a beautiful home, an amazing husband and stuff like that, and not be afraid for your face. Now, so let's move to the parent part now. So in this, based on what do you think that your parents could have done better? Like, what do you think do you think anything could have changed in terms of the parental part? Let's put it that way.
Yes, I basically, a lot of things could have changed. Like, for example, I feel like if my mom, okay, so my dad was not always around all the time because he was always traveling due to work. So I can still pardon my dad a little. But my mom, I feel like, should have had a relationship. She should have tried to build a relationship with me because I was a girl. And girls, I feel like having a girl child, I mean, all children are sensitive, but I feel like having a girl child, you should able to make her feel feel comfortable enough to share things with you. So I feel like my mom should have created a much more comfortable atmosphere for me to be able to tell her whatever I was going through. And I feel like she should have been more sensitive enough leaving me in the house with a man. Do you understand? Regardless of the fact that it didn't matter, because anybody can do anything, regardless of if the person is family or the person is not family. So I feel like she could have limited, or having this person in the house, having that person in the house, having strangers in the name of family in the house. So I feel like they could have done better in that aspect.
Right. So parents leaving their children alone with the opposite sex, especially female, and then maybe even both male and female self.
Yes.
And then checking, having a relationship with your children, being close to them, allowing them to be able to open up to you. Wow, that's very, very, very fun. I think that most of our
tells you is very important, because my mom had, like, if you tell her, oh mom, she will not even believe you, because she just feels like the person is older than you. So what you're saying could follow. Do you understand? It does not. So she would not believe you. So I feel like if she had trusted me better, do you understand? I possibly would have been able to tell her much more things. But I took that a lot. I hated my mom for a long time because of that, because I felt like she should have just really done. But it took me a lot to actually forgive her and just let go of everything, because I felt very hurt. Like at some point I felt like she was the cause, but when I grew up and I knew better, I just had to forgive her and let go. So, but I feel like parents, both male, both female, just don't leave your children unattended with strangers. Just no.
So we as parents, we must just try to do better, basically. So on your part, but do you think on the part of children now, I mean, you trying to reflect back to when you were 13. Now, we've just done on the part of parents, what parents need to do to be more sensitive, to ensure that their children are not faced in this kind of situations. So you as a child, I'm doing like a retrospect now. Do you think there's something that you could also have done differently to avoid this kind of stuff?
So I think because growing up as a child, I was very timid. So I feel like if I wasn't timid, I would have so much courage to tell my mom, regardless of what she thought. Do you understand? So child, I was able to just damn the consequences and just tell her, hello ma, this is what happened and this is what's happening. And for every time it happens, I wish I had the courage to tell her, this happened today again. I'm just letting you know. Do you understand? Until she takes an action. I know. So I would have
so we should try to build bold and confident children, and not fearful or timid children.
Very important.
Right. So that's not a personality thing. That's more like, because you can say, oh, timid is my personality, that's who I am. That is not something that can be worked on by parents on their children, right?
Yes, it can.
Making them bold and courageous.
Yes, it can. Even so I'll use my brother as an example. Growing up as a child, my brother was extremely timid, but I was able to make my mom realize that on time, that for a boy, I feel like he's too timid, and when he goes to school, his self-esteem will be trampled on. So I told her to make it a point. So we would always force him to talk. So luckily for him, he had an amazing class teacher who took his case personal. She made sure she pushed him out of his comfort zone. And by just 3, when they were having end of the year session, my brother was in the stage play and he was the king. And we were so shocked, like, wow. So I feel like parents should make a conscious effort. Once you notice that, this child is a certain way, then you should be able to build their confidence and let them know that you don't have to be timid. It's just very important to help them build their self-confidence. It's very important.
Right. Okay. So before I move on, somebody has a question here that trying to read it. Knowing that this was done by a family member, did it affect how you trusted your family or loved ones?
Yes, it did. Because I didn't trust anybody. I was scared of every uncle, every auntie. I didn't trust anybody. It almost affected the way I saw my father, But I think why it didn't affect me was because I was closer to my dad than my mom. But I just never knew why I was very uncomfortable telling my dad whatever happened, in as much as I had a great relationship with my dad. But it really affected a lot. I mean, I if you come to the house and my mom is like, can this person share your room with you? No. As in, I don't.
No.
Nobody share my room with me. Let them stay in the visitors room or sleep in the parlor. It became a problem. So if they do that, I would dad if I could sleep in their room. If maybe a family is supposed to, so I'll beg my dad that, please, daddy, can I sleep in your room and everything? And he'll tell me, okay, go and bring your small bed. So that was, and it really affected me for a long time. But now I think I'm good. Now I think I know.
You're good. So you can see that back then you were a bit paranoid, like, no, don't touch me, don't. And I know there's this thing I said, when you're able to hug people, not be you able to hug.
So
did it affect that part?
Yes, it did. Hugs, like, even I just started getting, even with my partner, I just started getting comfortable with touch and everything. All those things disgust me, like, oh, don't let everybody be, don't touch me. I know, yes. So I had a very big hug coming from Milo.
Because I think from the little experience, I'm fascinated with the few people that I've seen that have gone through abuse. They are not very touchy, or what will I put it? They don't even touch you, so they don't, even when you touch them, they're like, and all that stuff. I think I've noticed that amongst them. So apart from the things that you have said, now, because sometimes we might have these people around us, and because, like you said, it's very difficult for people like this to open up. They don't want to say, they just want to bottle it up and stuff. Do you think that there are different ways that you can recognize someone who has gone through abuse? Do you think there are, like, call it signs or things that you can easily catch? Like I said, this way this person is doing, I feel like this person has a story, but the person is just, do you think there are some things that people should look out for? Even parents, right? There are some things that you should look at, because some children too, like you said, some children will not say anything, but maybe there are some signs that you can just use to know that I think there's something going on here that I want to check out. So it can be for your friend, it can be for your child, it can be for your partner. So what are those things that we can use as catchy
children
things?
Most times they get very withdrawn and rebellious. They get very, very withdrawn and rebellious, because I remember, I wasn't sure if I was rebellious, but I know I gave my mother a lot of headache. But I was very withdrawn. I mean, I always wanted to be by myself. When everybody's together in the parlor, I would be in the room. When everybody's in the room, I'll be in the parlor. I just always wanted to be on my own. So I was very withdrawn. My mom would tell me, "Are you a loner? She would just be asking me some certain questions. Why are you always on your own? Why are you talking to nobody?" Stuff like that. So for children, they become very withdrawn. Sometimes they get aggressive. Sometimes they get rebellious. So you can just tell that, okay, there's more to why this child is being like this. And then if you have a great relationship with your child, you can try talking to them. And I would suggest to any parent that if you feel like your child is not opening up to you, they most likely would open up to a therapist. They most likely will want to open up to somebody who is not family. And it's okay, because sometimes they don't know how you as their parents will take it. So it's okay if they want to open up to a therapist. I mean, it's okay to give them a therapy session. It's okay for you to get help for them if they're not willing to open up to you. But in adult, I feel like the only way you most likely might know is sometimes how the person reacts during certain conversations. Like maybe if you're talking about rape, violence and stuff, however the person reacts and how the person takes certain conversations, you can't exactly say the conversation, but you can pick one thing from the conversation. Secondly, self-esteem. When you meet some people who have really so low self-esteem, a lot must have happened to them, because I mean, self-esteem, you don't just wake up and just have a low self-esteem. I mean, no, nobody just wakes up. No, God doesn't even send you to this world with a low self-esteem. I mean, no. So from how they handle their self-esteem, you can be able to tell that, okay, I think this person has been through something. And if the person trusts you enough, like I say, from the type of things you say regarding some topics, that's what can allow the person to trust you. Because if you have if you feel like rape is not real, I'm sorry, whoever has been raped will never ever want to even open up to you that such a thing has happened.
Yeah.
You have to be having conversations around people, because when people get touchy, like me, I really don't like dwelling on rape conversations, because sometimes I take it too personal. So sometimes when they're talking about rape, I just smile. I don't even want to say much, because I mean, there's no point. I feel like the thing about rape is that if you have not been through it, you just can never know how it feels. So when I see people, I just let's not even bother and everything. So sometimes I just smile and everything. So you have to just be careful about when you address issues in front of people, because sometimes the person is just waiting. The person is wanting to know if they can actually trust you with that information. So when you now say something, the person is like, lie, I cannot tell this person this thing. This person will not.
Yeah, I get it. Amazing. Okay, thank you so much, Moyo. So there's another question here. The person said, did you hurt people? Did you hurt people because of what you went through? I mean, knowingly or unknowingly, do you think you hurt some people along the way?
Did I hurt people? No, I mean, I'm not sure, because really I'm not sure if however I took it hurt people. But I just know that I didn't let myself get to a point of vulnerability. I just never let it happen with anyone, because I was not sure if I could trust you enough. So maybe my not trusting people enough and not letting people into my life might have hurt people unknowingly. But
right. But not that you knowingly hurt people.
Yeah, no.
And then, unfortunately, some people that have gone through this thing, they end up becoming very scandalous. Like, to be the sex, I'll not be doing it anyhow. And then I think that one is worse, because sex doesn't now have any value to them again. Yeah. So they just keep doing it like on a sex spree.
They just continue.
I think there are a lot of negative effects to this thing. People are fighting and going through it, because I know that my time is running. So I'm going to ask one more question. So what do you have to say to people that are listening here or will probably still listen, and then they're victims of this kind of thing, be it addiction, be it abuse? What do you have to say to them that can help them go through this phase? What's your advice?
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to say that it's not your fault, it's never your fault, and it will never be your fault. Never ever blame yourself, regardless of however it happened, whatever the situation or wherever it happened. It is not your fault. Secondly, you are not alone. You are not the only person who has been through this, and abuse is not the end of the world. I mean, you can triumph from whatever form of abuse that you've been through. Thirdly, always speak out. I feel like speaking out is your number one way of healing. The more you bottle up, the more it affects you. But always try to find people you can trust, get a therapist, try to make a conscious effort to work on yourself, build your self-esteem, because that's the only way that people can talk about abuse and you will not be touchy or you will not be edgy around the topic. If you have a it will always affect you all the time. Every time you hear abuse, you will break down. So speak to a therapist, get help. Get help is important. And talk to God, because trust me, even if you speak to all the therapists in the whole world, if God is not active on your matter, trust me, you would always be back to God. Because I feel like with the help of the Holy Spirit, that's when you can do a lot of things. Pray about it, prayerfully talk to God about it, read books. Books will help you, it will open up your mind, because you would read on other people's experience and their healing process, and it would help you a lot. So read books, talk to a therapist, and talk to God, please. God is like the ultimate factor. Just pray about it, and please never blame yourself. No matter how bad the abuse was, it's never your fault. It's never your fault.
Thank you. Oh my God. Moyo, in fact, it's like I should not end this session. But I think there's one more thing I'll miss. I need to say this, right? So now you've spoken to people that are going through this, or your advice. And what about to to the world, to people around? What do you have to say to people? Because I don't know if you ever experience the way people shame people or people look down on people. What do you have to say to people around non-abuse victims? Now, how do you think people need to relate or embrace things like this or accept this kind of journeys? What do you have to say to people?
I'd like to say that abuse is a very, very sensitive and touchy topic. I mean, I feel like people just wake up and say things like, I don't believe in abuse. I feel like the woman is the cause of her own abuse. What about men who were raped? Were they the cause of their own abuse? So it's never anybody's fault. I just want to urge people around, whenever the abuse topic comes up, be careful and be mindful about the things you say, because you don't know who and who is around who has been through that type of situation, because your words can pierce their soul. It can either send them back into depression, or it's depending on what you say, you can either make them or break them with your words. So to people around, abuse is real. I mean, anybody can go through abuse, male or female. It's not just females who go through abuse. Males also go through abuse. So it is very real. Please don't say it is not real because you've never experienced it. And I don't pray you experience it. It's not good. It affects your mental health. So just be careful about what you say about people who have been through that process, because it's one thing to go through it. It's another thing to come out and say, you know what, I've been there and I've done that. It takes a whole lot to come out and say, oh, I went through this and I am fine now. It's so many people don't get over it. Some people commit suicide and stuff. So please be very careful with what you say when it comes to those topics around people. You don't know who has been through it, so you have to be careful whatever you say.
Whoosh! Oh my God, I had such an amazing time. Thank you, Moyo. Gosh, thank you for sharing. Thank you for helping. Thank you for being a blessing. Thank you for motivating. Thank you for strengthening. Thank you for encouraging. As in, I'm just looking for all the words. Thank you, because people are going to hear this and they are going to be blessed. There's no way. And then it's amazing because you've said everything, and a lot of people are struggling with this today. I mean, just when were we talking about rape all over, everybody does say, this year, rape. And I know that a lot of people are going through this, and people are so happy that they are hearing this, and there's life after abuse. You can get healed from it. You can strengthen others from your story. And that's exactly what you just did right now. Because what you have done, you have helped some people. I know that somebody on this stream, and somebody who is going to come on this stream, is going to look at them like, thank you, Lord. I mean, this is just amazing. And I wish we had more people that can come out to encourage or help people. Because a lot of people are going through it. I mean, see how long it took, but now you're broken free and you can share your story and bless us. Thank you so much. I mean, look at everybody saying thank you. What an amazing time. Thank you. I mean, we love you, we appreciate it. Thank you to your husband for allowing you come out to talk about this. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you so much, Moyo. God bless you. All right, so fam, we've come to the end of another Ife Talks series. We have come to, I mean, another amazing time. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for being a part of this session. You guys are amazing. I mean, the stream today was so much fun and joy. Thank you everybody for coming out. Like I said, the remaining months, we're going to be having different people who are going to come out to encourage and then, and help us, right? So please don't forget, those of you that have not subscribed to my YouTube page, go and do that now. Go and subscribe to my YouTube page. Comment, share, like. It's very, 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 very important. Go and subscribe. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to be here again next month. Thank you, everyone. I see the love. I appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you to my amazing husband again. God keep thanking me. Right? Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you to Shay, that husband. Thanks for allowing us to come out to share. You're such an amazing man. We celebrate you. I love you all. Thank you very much. Thank you. I will see you next month. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Oh, you can follow the name of God. Thank you. TYT, Eddie, Jules. Pastor Kim, I said thank you so much, ma. And Mrs. Jide, my Containing. You guys are awesome. Thank you for Naomi, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Danny, thank you. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. Team, thank you for finally joining. Shan, thank you so much. June, thank you. I mean, there's a lot. Whips,
Marceli, thank you. I wish I could call out everybody's name. Mamachi, thank you. Orlando, thank you. Steve Drake, thank you. Everyone, Didi, thank you. You guys are amazing. I love you all. See you next month and goodbye.